Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of readings. Um, this is on James 13 Wicca on YouTube, in case you're not seeing it there. For the main tarot, I'm going to use Wild Reflections Tarot deck by Spell. And there is a website on the back here. I believe it's there, yspell.com. It's in the center over here. There we go. If you're interested. That's what we have for the tarot deck. The oracle cards I'm going to use are Sacred... Okay, can't hold it. Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. It's hard to read it backwards. By Denise Lynn. Where's the websites for Denise? I think it's on the back of the book. So it's at the end of her paragraph where you see her face. That yellowish box, it's at the bottom of it. DeniseLynn.com if you want to check her out. And I also use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element. It's from the Dice Shop. The website there is mathartfun.com. I don't know if it's showing up. I don't know if you can see mathart.com. Hopefully you can. mathartfun.com. Alright, that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. That being said, let's get into your reading. Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Sagittarius? I think you can see my cat over here. The Logan. He's decided to show up for your reading, so there he is. Do we like that? Okay. We got a lot of cards out. A lot of cards. A lot of fire coming in too, which is good. You're a fire sign, so. A lot of cards, which is fine. So, you got a lot going on. I mean, you're Sag, so it's more likely than not you have a lot going on anyway. There's something you have or want to leave in the past. Have or want. Releasing, like the devil reversed. So like releasing something. 10 of Pentacles, something that's very much created a foundation for you. And I'm moving away from the past. I keep getting like the past with this 8 of Cups. Usually the 8 of Cups is like going from something good and leaving it to go to something better. I keep feeling like I'm leaving the past in the past. I'm leaving the past in the past. I keep feeling that. And even though there's energy from the past coming towards you, I feel like I got a lot going on. And I'm not letting it really get in my way. So something from the past might be trying to like cause issues. Something from the past might be trying to step into your life or return to your life. But I feel like you're blocking that without much effort. So when I say block, I don't feel like I have to do much to just not. Maybe I'm just not responding to messages, or like when somebody else is in the room that I don't want to talk to anymore, I just go and do something else. It seems like it's quite easy. It does not seem like it takes a lot of effort, but it's also very kind of like I'm leaving that in the past and I'm not willing to let it control my future. This past influence might have had a lot of control over how you did things or maybe how you felt about things in the past, but that energy is like, I have no interest. I have no interest. I'm not going to do that. especially because maybe in the past you had a different viewpoint on certain things, and that viewpoint has been quite evolved since then. It's different. It's kind of like, it's kind of like realizing certain foods, like I thought they were good at the time, then now you're like, well, no. Like it has too much sodium, that has too much this, or that's just a lot of not good things for me. Uh, I don't feel like we have to go crazy. It's just like whatever. And in the time when you were connected to it, you had a different skill set about what you thought it was. You've learned since then. It's kind of like, well, now that I know what I know, that's not for me. That's all. I don't think we have to go crazy with that. It's also something when I see the Emperor in your thoughts, not negotiating on it. Not gonna let anybody tell me like it's something that it's not. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna let somebody tell me that this is not full of bad things. I know it's there. I don't know. It's a weird analogy because I can't seem to get like I keep getting food analogies, but I don't seem to want to say them because it's not about food. I'm getting, but I'm not letting anybody tell me different. I'm not, and I'm continuing to move forward, and I'm leaving whatever didn't work in the past. That's that. There's a lot of energy with that. A lot. Not nope. Not nope. So, and the advice is to, yeah, that's good. Keep doing that. That's good. You're doing good. This is your flavor. If this is working, this is your flavor. This is how it works for you. There's nothing to feel bad about. Maybe this doesn't work for other people. You're not other people. You're you. You're Sag. So this doesn't have to be like up for a committee to decide whether you're doing it well or not well. Are you enjoying your life? Is this working for you? Keep doing it. That's that. There's this there too. The king and knight, king and page. Okay, king and page. Sometimes you're right out there leading. Other times you're just following somebody else's lead. It flips back and forth, flips back and forth. I don't know why you would feel bad about this, but I'm getting don't. If somebody's telling you you're wishy-washy or something, or that you're not this, you're not that, see that for what it is, because you're doing what you need to do. Yeah, there's a transition going on here. The world upside down is telling me things are changing, you're just not seeing it right now. Especially with the Ten of Swords reversed. Energy from there's negative things from the past that are they're going away. They're going away. And there's a big change coming in right now. You may not see it, but like it's not bad. I don't know how to say this. Something else is going on here connected with this same situation. A big change is happening, but it's very quietly coming in. It's not bad for you. You may not realize it's happening, but it might be one of those things where it's just slowly showing itself. There are people in this situation that have to make a choice. Okay. They're going to have to make a choice. It doesn't matter who likes it or doesn't like it. You have standards. You've learned a lot. You're not gonna negotiate on these standards. You can't. I feel like you can't without going back to an emotional place that you were not happy. And I also feel like that's a no-go. Not gonna go backwards. It's like I'm not gonna sell my nice house to go live in a little hovel because it makes no sense. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Don't need to do that. I shouldn't do that. But to be a part of this other person's life, that's what I need to do. I'm not going to do it. I feel like you're not going to do it. So you have standards that are non-negotiable, but I don't feel like I'm sitting down and explaining people like I'm going through a ledger, like there's this standard, and I'm not doing this, and I don't feel like there's any of that going on. I don't feel like I'm explaining myself. I feel like what's happening is that you have standards, your behavior and your actions are being reflected by your new standards. Certain people are going to have to make choices. They're either going to have to get over themselves and just kind of like the impasse here. It's like they either have to get on board, get with it, or get lost. I don't feel like there's going to be conversation. It's just going to kind of happen. I don't think you're including or discluding people per se. Certain people are already discluded, but that's a past thing. There's current people that I feel like I'm not deciding whether they can or can't stay. They're deciding that for themselves. They're deciding that for themselves. And conscious or subconscious, more likely conscious, just to be fair, they're going to see it. They're going to realize, do I want Sag in my life? Do I not? I keep up this behavior or this, whatever this is, Sag isn't going to be there. I refine that. I adopt those same boundaries for my own life, then Sag will be there. It's not bad. There's nothing to feel bad about for you. There's nothing to feel bad about, but I'm saying that, but I'm still feeling like, well, I still feel like I'm kind of like bothered by it at the same time, because it's like I'd like these people to come with me, but at the same time not going to negotiate my standards. There's going to be a moment here where you're not even sure where they really stand. I hate to say it, but them too. They're not going to know either. There may be a period of time where they have to kind of pull back and feel what it's like to not have you as connected to their lives, and start realizing that that could end up being a permanent thing if they're not careful. And then they have to make the decision whether that's okay with them or not. This is not for you to fix. This is for you to hold boundaries. There will be this odd need to kind of reach out, which is not a bad thing. I wouldn't say reaching out is a bad thing. I would say be very mindful how you do it. Do not give that energy where you're going to be like, where people might think or like you're going to accommodate what they want. So be careful of that. The strength card is kind of saying I can handle it. Maybe you have a bad attitude, but I can handle it. I don't want to put out that energy like, well, you are who you are and I can handle it. I don't know if this is going to sound right. We don't want to really do that. What we want to kind of do, it's a possibility, it's up to you, is you got 3 cards here. So let's see if I can get them all out. This is a take a risk card. It says great adventure, but at the bottom it says take a risk. And I'm like, yeah, you want to reiterate your boundaries. I don't feel like I want to like hold it over anybody, like, you know, do this or else. Not like that, but kind of like, you know, as long as you're okay with me driving myself, I'll go to this event with you. As long as you're okay with driving separately, I can go to this event with you. That's like a boundary. Maybe you have a boundary about that. It's a friend, or maybe it's even a partner, and you're just kind of like, all right, you want me to go to that? You go directly from work. I'll meet you there in my own car. We'll drive separately. As long as they're okay with that boundary, okay, that's good. Communicate what you want. Communicate how you want it. I keep getting at stuff like that. Like, you know, I'll go to this restaurant as long as you don't order for me before I get there. That type of thing. Because some people do that. I don't know why, but that really like hits a red flag for me. It bothers me. Unless, you know, I don't know. For some reason, it's a red flag in my brain. And I guess there's exceptions, I guess. But like, when I hear that or when I see that, it depends. I don't know why it just bothers me. It just bothers me for some reason. Especially if you didn't tell them what you wanted to. Like if you're saying, order me the eggplant, that's one thing. But if you're just showing up and they're like, I decided you wanted beef today, there you go. I don't know. For some reason, there might be certain boundaries. Like I feel like they're not the biggest things. I feel like I'm not like bringing forward like, you know, as long as you don't say these words while I'm there, I'll show up. It doesn't feel like that. It feels more like certain behaviors. As long as you don't try to control my behavior, I'll show up type of thing. And putting that out there that there's certain boundaries, I don't know. I feel like it'll make sense for those that have to do that. There's certain things, like I feel like, you know, as long as you don't say like as long as you don't expect me to wear pink because we're all going to a cancer event, a breast cancer event, I'll show up, but I'll wear the color I want to wear. I'll still support it, but I'm not going to go by your standards. You know what I mean? Something like that. The other people might be like, well, you have to. And you're like, no, I don't. I'll still support it, but I'm going to wear what I want to wear, not what you think I should wear. Something like that. There's going to be pushback for a little while, but the more I don't feel like you're going to have to stand your ground. I feel like you're just going to. And I just feel like the more I communicate, this is why I'm not doing that, that's the only thing that I feel like is different. That, like, instead of like letting people think what they're going to think, just say, no, I didn't go to that event because they said you have to do this, this, and that. And I'm not going to do those things. So I just don't go to those events. I will support it in other ways, but I don't go to that actual event because I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. The more you communicate like why you're not participating or why you're not putting up with certain things, instead of letting people guess, the easier this changes, the better this is for other people, because it's kind of like you're bringing that to the, I feel like this is where you're bringing it to the conscious level, kind of like, hey, I'm giving you this conscious note, I'm not negotiating on these things anymore, because I feel like you're going to do it either way. It's just whether you're going to communicate about it or not. That's the whole thing. And things go a lot better for you by communicating. I feel like if they stay, it makes it easier for them to stay. But if they go, I also feel like, well, I told them my truth. Like, there wasn't any like middle ground on this. So it's not like it's a shock that things have gone the way they've gone. Whatever this is, I don't feel like it's going to be a painful, I don't think there's going to be like a painful moment. Whether this energy or these energies stay or go, or can you get off the sink, please? Okay. Whether these energies stay or go, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to, all of a sudden, it's just going to be changed. I don't feel like I'm like, packing somebody's bag and like putting them at the door and be like, you're out. I don't think anything like that is happening. They're just going to, one day they'll just either be gone or one day they're just going to be very cemented in. Then you're going to feel very confident about that one way or the other. It seems to be very significant because there might be people around you right now, if this reading is hitting, that you're questioning, do they or don't they have a place in your life? This reading is, I think, meant to help you realize that they're deciding what they want, and they have to make those decisions just like you've made those decisions. You've made these decisions to move forward. You've made these decisions to evolve and to create better boundaries, to have a happier life. They have the same choices. If they choose not to do that, they're just not going to fit in your life. It really doesn't make anybody good or bad. It just means either they fit or they don't, and if they don't fit, they're just not going to be there. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.